In February, new Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred outlined systematic changes aimed at speeding up the average game time. After a full spring training slate gave players and coaches the opportunity to try out baseball's new rules, the sport is moving forward in hopes of speeding up the game's pace of play.
It's on the pitchers, it's on the batters, it's on commercial breaks, and it's on television. Everyone has a theory, but Major League Baseball has yet to untangle an issue tugging at the seams of America's pastime. That is, until first-year Commissioner Rob Manfred announced changes to baseball's pace of play.
I think it is crucial at this point in the game's history that we hear what the fans have to say and take measured changes to be responsive to what we're hearing.
On February 20th, Manfred implemented sweeping changes to combat game times that stretch beyond 3 hours in 2014. The new rules include strict commercial break guidelines, requiring hitters to keep 1 foot in the batter's box, a new between-innings clock, and penalties for failing to follow the new rules.
If you're at a game on a Wednesday night and it's getting to 11 o'clock and you want to get home and the kids got to go to school the next day and all that, that's a consideration, and baseball needs to be aware of that.
Manfred's modifications left no doubt baseball is lending its ear to the subject, but some players are concerned the league's new hierarchy is overlooking the game's natural flow.
You know, baseball's a great game. There's a reason, you know, there hasn't been a clock in it for, you know, since the first day it was invented, and no, I don't want to see that whatsoever.
We just don't want to see like what makes this game so great, like the integrity and the foundation of this game be, you know, altered or messed with.
Though revolutionary, some of baseball's new pace of play rules are targeted strictly at inning breaks, which is viewed as a more welcome method for shaving the average game time.
The fact that the batter can see the clock, the pitcher can see the clock, they know where they are in terms of the inning break and what they're required to do.
When TV gets involved, it seems like it's the in-between innings. I think they add on 20 seconds here or there, so it does make the ESPN games seem a little bit longer.
You are going to shave 10 or 15 minutes off a game just right there, and I think that's something that's necessary, and I think it's a great idea.
Through the first 2 weeks of the 2015 season, game times dropped an average of 9 minutes. Players are realizing the incentives of adapting to the new rules in hopes they can ward off future decrees aimed at more in-game regulations.
You know, I feel like the game is so great because it doesn't have a clock. I understand wanting to speed the game up. I think it's great. I know as a fan it can get kind of long, but you know, as players, you know, we don't want to have a clock.
It shouldn't affect me a whole lot. I pitch relatively quick, but you know, as long as it doesn't feel uncomfortable, I think on either side it'll be all right.
As the season takes shape, a sport that has spent the past 20 years under a magnifying glass will have even more critical eyes watching closely. But this time around, baseball's leadership was committed to finding an architect with a proactive mission of creating a solution for an evolving issue.
In terms of the quantitative, I certainly want to reverse the trend of increasing length of the game, and I am really intent on the idea that we're going to have an average game time that's going to start with a 2 next year as opposed to a 3.
As the demographics of baseball fans grow older and modern attention spans run shorter, the sport has reached a crossroad. Adapt and survive, or risk losing out on younger generations yearning for more action-packed excitement. In Phoenix, I'm Kerry Crowley, Cronkite News.
After 2 weeks of regular season games, Commissioner Manfred is finally seeing his wish come to fruition. The pace of Major League games has dropped below 3 hours, with games clocking in on average at 2 hours and 59 minutes.